fucked up, dude.
I work in real estate, and I'm not going to say, like, oh my God, real estate agents, they're so superficial. I'm never buying a house. You know, like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
Nor.
Unless you're like, you want to be like an adventurer and live in a tent.
Which I am not, nor do I ever want to do that. But just so I can get it on record, I do not think all real estate agents are superficial. I love real estate agents. I love the industry. Thank you.
Okay. I was gonna say I fucking hate when there's people who are overly representative of their place. Cause like I gotta mention her, man. That bitch that I would. Okay, no, she wasn't a bitch.
Well, you're talking to the guy who's wearing his company's hat right now.
Yeah.
So is that an example of over representation?
No. But there's people where it like right now. Over-representation is like we'd be sitting here talking about nothing but your company and how much you love it and the benefits. You'd have your fucking, information packet to give to us, because okay, no, this girl, okay, she wasn't a bitch, she was like a cunt. So it's an evolved Pokemon level of bit, but she okay, because I got a panic attack from working with this person. Did I ever tell you about that?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so I worked with this person. And she was like a nut job because like I would sit right next to her and she'd be the kind of person where we're just like, oh, say we're sitting together at during whatever real estate, and I'm like, oh yeah, so Bill, did you take care of that house? And you just tell me, oh yeah, you know what, I put in the paperwork, I got this step to take care of. You just tell me face to face. She got to the point where she was so fed up with me that she wanted everything in writing in case she gets in trouble for bitching me out. So I'd be like, oh yeah, so what do we do today? What's busy today? And she'd be like, and then type it out in an email and send it to me when I'm sitting right next to her. And she was okay. So all this shit for like 6 months, I'm just dealing with this day to day. And she wasn't some like super like yuppie, super overly white, just like just a typical yuppie, whatever, Mad Men, whatever you want to call, office lady. She was like this nerdy, or likes to be called a nerdy chick into Star Wars, just somebody you'd see at a Comic-Con, and she just fucking, like, little by little, I realized how much of a psycho she is, because here's the thing. I'm like, oh, all right. So one day I asked her, because I would tell her these little things. I'm like, oh, you know what? You're Dwight from The Office. Oh, really? Thanks. So are we going to get going on this job? I'm like, so do you even know what I said? Do you know? No, I never watched The Office. And then I showed it to her, and she's just like, oh yeah, I love Star Wars. She wasn't offended by being Dwight at all, because she just loved her fucking job. And then you know what I found out?
That she had never seen an episode of The Office.
Yeah. What a cunt, right? No, dude. Okay, I asked her, I'm like, how did you even get here at this company? Since it's like international. You know how she got there, dude?
How did she get there?
Because I saw her profile. I'm like, you look like a completely different person on your profile. It's like, oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm from Nevada. And she's like, don't talk to this person at this office. I'm like, why? It's like, does he ever say anything about spanking me? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Spanking you? Is that how you get in a higher position at this job? Because I don't know, if it's a little money, I don't mind it. But I got to see a picture. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? She's from Vegas. And I'm like, okay, so what did you do there? She's like, oh, I used to be in a law firm, and I used to deliver Wayne Newton's shit to his door every day. He didn't let me take any pictures, but he was a gentleman. And she's like my age, telling me that. I'm like, why didn't you fucking stay there? She goes, oh, I started talking to this Russian guy who's really into bondage, so I transferred over here. I'm like, so you fucking moved from Vegas to Chicago so you can get your ass spanked and beat up? She's like, well, I'm kind of into that stuff, but yeah, no, he was bad. And you know what was really fucked up is that on her picture, she had like this froey hair of just really nice curls, red lips. She looked really nice. Now she has hair like, you know how Mr. Bean has like just, it looks like clay. Like if he had a fucking like a jet plane he's walking behind a jet plane and that wind's blowing at him, it wouldn't mess up. It's just fucking,
Right.
it wouldn't. Like that episode, he touched a static ball, but his hair wouldn't stick up. That's how her hair looked. It's that short too, and I'm thinking, holy fuck, this all makes sense because she likes getting her hair torn out while she's doggy style. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, so it never gets too much? And she's like, well, I'm dating this. I'm actually really into Polish guys now. Not you though, but I'm dating the Polish guy. I'm like, oh, because he beats you less, right? It's like, kind. Well, I mean, whenever I'm feeling a little stressed out, I go back to the Russian. Like, oh, okay. So now, yeah, actually, I'm kind of want to go back to work now for once after hearing this shit, So and then I just kept hearing all this shit, and I got a panic attack at work. And speaking of the disability thing, after I got my panic attack, like the ambulance picked me up, checked my blood. They're like, yeah, you had a panic attack because did you were you unconscious? Were you conscious? And I told them like what I felt, and they're like, yeah, that was a panic attack. After that, every single day, she's like, yeah, today's gonna be real busy. Look at your load. Look at your fucking board. Like, oh, it's like, oh, do you need me to help you? You're not gonna go into one of those things again. I'm like, what one of those things? You want me to pull some more fucking hair out? Like what the? I don't know, but yeah, it was pretty stressful. I don't know what else. You don't have any workers like that at your or you guys don't deal with people like this?
Like people into bondage?
People who like to get spanked and their hair torn out. No, like just people that you're like, yeah, these people are too fucking psycho about their job. They have no other identity but this job, Like this job is everything to them.
I mean, no, like, but that's not really like the picture that you painted. You didn't paint a picture of a devoted employee. You painted a picture of someone who really enjoys rough sex. And so I can't really speak to like my coworkers' sex lives.
It's hard to remember how much description I'm giving.
No, I understand.
No, she's really nuts about her job.
Oh, okay.
She's really nuts. And the worst part is everyone on that team besides her and me are salary.
Okay.
So she would like stay till like fucking. We'd start at like 5 or 6 a.m. and she'd stay till 10 p.m.
Getting good overtime.
Well, no, they didn't let her get overtime. She just do it because I'm gonna get moved up, and she's doing this for like a year or two.
So she just clocks out and keeps working, or what?
Yeah. Because she keeps trying to get moved up, and I'm just like, you know what? I guess you got to mention to the boss that he can tear your hair out, instead of like, oh, I'll suck your cock. No, you can tear my hair out, and you can put cigarettes out on me and shit. No, but
well, she doesn't really have hair anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to touch whatever's on her head if it is hair or not, but
so my answer is,
do you have people that are that devoted where like I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like she kind of went through a breakdown after she realized, oh, this isn't the sex that I want, but I have to stay at this job, so now I'm just going to go supreme over this job.
I work in real estate, so it's sort of an interesting dynamic where
I guess what I'm saying is our generation, you think about like shit you see in movies when there's like an office scene. Well, before the show The Office came out, the people are just like robots. This is my job, this is my life, and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch a sports game, and I'm gonna do nothing else but work on my stocks. Like there's people. It's okay to express yourself now. It's okay to be an individual, and I feel like I almost feel bad because she lost all that shit because she didn't get spanked the right way or whatever.
No, she's expressing herself in the bedroom, and that's her way of doing it. That's her football game, if you will. So I think she's quite content where she's at, and if she's not, there's always the Russian guy who will get her back on track. But to answer your question, no, I don't know anyone that's like excessively obsessed with my company. I've got coworkers that'll send emails on their own time at like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my company culture, I guess. They're passionate. As far as their sex lives go, I can't say if they're into bondage or not, but But no, to that extreme, no, I say no.